Hi, it's Jen, and thanks for joining me. Today I'm doing I'm calling it a tearaway card. I know there's dies out there for some kind of tearaway, but I don't think it's exactly the same as what I'm doing today. I got this idea from the, you know how when you get a new debit card, they send your card and then they send your PIN separately? And usually it's in just, the piece of paper. You tear the strip off the end and then you peel it open. So I thought it would be cool to try and recreate that and use it in a card format. So what I'm doing today is making a gift card holder, basically, with that same idea. What I'm using is just a piece of pre-made, pre-folded card from Michaels, and the weight of it's 60 pounds. I kind of experimented with this for a couple weeks to try and see different ways to do it. I tried the heavier cardstock, 110 pound, and it did not work as well, and so I found that 60 pound works really well. The tool I'm going to be using is this Tim Holtz Tonic Studios Perforator tool. This was a couple dollars at Joann's. I picked it up a few months ago. I don't know why, but just one of those things I thought I might need, I guess. And so that's what I'm going to be using mainly, but I'm going to show two different other ways to make this card. One of them is going to be using a Dritz tracing tool, and the other will be using your piercer tool. So basically what I've done is I've taken a piece of glass out of a picture frame, and I use this mainly when I'm doing my fuse tool because I like to have a hard surface underneath. And I found from experimenting with this that the perforator works best on a hard surface and not a soft surface. So I've taken one of my metal dies and just traced out a square and tried to get that evenly set on the front of the card. So you're basically going to open the card up and use the front of it. And now I'm making the score line for the tearaway piece. So when you pull it open, it will stop at that score line and it will crease very nicely. And there's different variations you can do with this, but the one I'm doing today is a strip tearaway. And so again, I'm taking my die to use as a guide, and I'm going to do two lines with my perforator tool, and that is going to be the strip that is torn away. And so the left side is going to be, the left side of your card is going to be the score line, and then the strip is wherever you want to place it, and then the top and the bottom will also need to be perforated. So for this, you just want to give it a little more than medium pressure, I guess. You want a good perforation, but not so much that it goes entirely through the paper. And also you want to make sure that you cross over the lines. So the lines have to cross where you're doing your tear strip, or else if there's a disconnect, it will not tear as neatly as it otherwise would. So after I do that, I just take my eraser and erase my pencil lines, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my Distress Oxides and decorate the front of the card. So I found that not putting anything too heavy on the front of the card is best. So I don't wet it too much. I basically just take some droplets in my hand, and I don't directly spray it with water. And I found that works best for, it tears more easily when there's not anything too heavy on the card. I go ahead and I use my distress links across the card, and then like I said, I just put some water in my hand and kind of make some droplets, and I dry that up with a paper towel. And then I use this really cute stamp set by Hero Arts. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at Joann's. But I thought it was super cute because it has a bunch of different shapes with little smiley faces. Super happy. And my son started kindergarten on Wednesday, and so the idea for the card was to kind of make even though I don't end up giving this to him because it's just kind of a card for this video. And I open it to show how it works, and so I can't really give it to him, but I really think this stamp set is great for kids. It's a really cute stamp set. So I go ahead and stamp 3 different shapes, and then I use a sentiment from a different stamp set, and it says, "You are my superstar." And then I take my piercing tool and open up the bottom of the tear strip. And I messed up on this part very badly, but I went ahead and kept going with it. What I wanted to do was make a half circle so that it was an opening for you to be able to pull and tear. What I ended up doing was using my scissors, which I shouldn't have done. I should have used my hand cutter to cut that half circle. So as you can see, it's quite big and not very attractive, but hopefully it just gives you an idea of what I did or what you can do. And so you can see the perforations on the inside of the card. So basically I just take another metal die and line that up so that I can get the inside of my card fairly even, so when you tear it open, that's all you're going to see. And I found for this, the perfect thing to use is a journaling card. And there's so many designs out there that the ideas are limitless. But you can also decorate the inside with, you know, stamps or more ink or whatever you want to do. I just found that the journal cards are quick and easy, and I went ahead and put another stamp on the inside, and then I take my gift card and adhere that with a I'm drawing a blank. A sticky dot. I don't think that's what it's called, but it's a sticky dot. And then I take some double-sided tape, and I'm just putting that on the edges. You don't want to put it near the perforation or it's not going to open. So I went ahead and put that on the edges, and then I take my brayer to seal it. And this works really well to get the adhesive nice and sealed. And that's pretty much it for the card. You can do lots of different variations on this. I'm using it as a gift card, but I think it would be kind of cool to do like glitter maybe, or confetti or something like that, so when somebody opens it kind of flies out. So there's different things that you can do with this. It doesn't just have to be for a gift card. So I go ahead and I start tearing it, and then I remember that I probably should take a picture for my intro, and so I stopped it, and then I go ahead and come back and tear it the rest of the way. But it tears very easily with the perforator tool. This one actually turned out a lot better as far as the tearing than my previous versions. And so then you're just going to tear the rest of it open. And so there's the gift card, and there's the perforation. So when you open it, it's going to stop at, not perforation, when you open it, it's going to stop at that score line that you created. I went ahead and stamped the inside. I think I mentioned that already. So then you just take your gift card off, and there you have it. I do have another sample of one that I did previously. It is already torn open, but on this one I didn't do any sort of half circle to open it. I just kind of loosened it a little bit at the end to be able to tear it. And I know there's stamps out there that say pull here or what have you. I don't have any of those, but those definitely would work really good with this card. So now I'm just going to show a different tools that you can use. So the first one is the perforator tool, which we just used. And again, I found that it works best on a hard surface. The tracing tool, which is this green one, this is a Dritz tracing tool, works better with something soft underneath it. And there you can see the lines that it makes. I use this a lot for faux stitching on cards. I don't have all of the fancy dies, and so I like to use that. And then the last one that you can use is your piercing tool. This is obviously a little more time consuming because you have to make a bunch of dots one right after the other. but it still works well. The perforator tool that I have was a couple of dollars. I think the perforator tool, you can also, some of the paper cutters have it. So if you have that, that would work great. So this is the first one, the perforator tool, and it's got a nice clean edge. The Dritz tool is not, it doesn't tear as cleanly, but it still works. And the same with the piercing tool. I think the piercing tool actually tears better than the Dritz tool, but it still picks up a little bit more paper. So that's my project for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun experimenting with this, and I'm definitely going to be making more cards doing this. I think they're super fun. But thanks again for joining me. Please like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.